Hello everyone, this is Sean from Barry Digital Media and I hope you are well. Today I'm taking a look at Google's Flow, and this is their AI filmmaking tool. It's AI powered and it's designed to help make cinematic videos using text and image prompts. It's powered by advanced models. It uses different things like its VO, Imagen, and Gemini to produce that high quality video content. It has a pretty good and friendly user interface. I was able to jump into it and have a fairly good time doing it and using the platform, which we'll get into more in just a moment. It also has like scene builders and like camera controls inside of it. It focuses on consistency and generations, which, especially with my previous experience in AI generation, can be quite difficult. Even in Flow, it's difficult, but we'll get into that more so in a moment. And yeah, it is a fairly easy platform to use and fun. So I'm going to get into the platform in just a moment, but I wanted to focus first on this Flow channel that Google has recently produced, and it's basically showing you the different things that you can do with Flow. And after working with Flow now for a couple of hours, I've used almost all of my credits. From looking at what I'm seeing here, I think I would be able to produce probably 95% of what I see here. And so, really, the only limitation for the most part is my own creativity. I'm just taking a moment here to appreciate what I'm seeing on the screen. I mean, again, the creativity seems like the only limitation. Now, I do think that there is a large amount of skill that's still needed to use the platform and use the platform in a way that that you can use it professionally, let's say, and it's skill all in itself. But let's take a look at one or two more of these before we jump over. Extreme sports. Guy riding a bull. I mean, I could see how that could be used in a commercial. This actually reminds me of a game. I think it's called like Superfall or something like that. Um, Bike riding over lava. That's pretty fun. So yeah, I mean, let's go to one more channel. Mountain climbing on an asteroid. Color of the year. Now, if it could produce a new color, that would be amazing. Um, okay, so everything just seems to be inside of that caramel-like color. Very good. One more. Mobile homes. That's pretty cool. It reminds me of, I don't know, steampunk, or what's that video game that was announced a while ago? It's not steampunk, but um, anyways. So I mean that's really impressive. Now this actually looks a little bit more of a challenge. I'm not quite sure on how to build these kinds of assets, um, but I think I could do it. The other thing that's actually quite impressive with what I'm seeing here is that you can see the camera is rotating around some of them. Although one of the difficulties that I'm also seeing with this video here is that, at least on that beach scene, it wasn't leaving footprints. And here it looks actually that it's missing a foot. Oh, and then there the the wood piece actually went into one of the legs. So, I mean, it's not without its flaws, but still, I mean, the power that we're seeing from these examples is just amazing. Rebuilding. Pretty interesting. All right, let's jump into some of my examples here. So, on the screen, you can see some of the projects that I started. And down here, this is my very first one, which I think I will get into. But then I tried to make a more advanced version. You know what? Yeah, let's just jump into it. So here is really the first project that I was working on. I was just focusing on a warrior. The first time that I was doing it, I didn't really get the gothic feel of the warrior quite right with this one, so I guess I got a little bit frustrated and stopped working on that. But then I went on to this guy here, and this is actually one that I think that I will release at some point. But basically, what goes on if I look at my scene builder here is I have my warrior and he's just walking through an alleyway, and then he kind of collapses. I might as well play it. Yeah, so that's about where it stops. Now, if I continue that last clip, this guy actually flips on backwards. I might as well show it. He flips on backwards. Oops. Here we go. See how he flipped on backwards? Just like that. And then he kind of comes back up. So that's where I experienced the most out of trouble with this particular one. Although I was quite happy overall, just the amount of detail that I got on the warrior. I wasn't really sure what to do in the background, so I just put a dark alleyway, and it seemed to work just fine. But what I liked also about this is that I was able to give it pretty clear directions upon what to do, and after 3 or 4 different attempts, I would get something that's pretty satisfying. Now this one here, like his eyes are a little bit hidden by his armor, which I would have liked to fix. And you can also see that there is a little bit of a jump in between the different frames here. Although I think that is a little bit because I was still very new at this platform. When I go more up to my dancer here, I am able to fix, let's say, or at least make those transitions in between the scenes better. But I'll get up to that momentarily. Another one that I had tried out is this one here. And I think this is one that I produced. Maybe I got it off of Midjourney, but I forget exactly how and where. So if it wasn't me, then full credit to whoever made this picture. But anyways, I put it into Flow, into VO here, and this is the result that I got. My prompt was just camera going down a hallway of lights slowly. And so it was able to pick up that there were lights on the left and right side, and the people in the middle are walking. So a fairly decent job there. I think that's pretty good. And I'm just using VO2 at the moment. I haven't experimented around too much with VO3. Because I'm not looking for that audio quality or that audio, those audio responses really at all. And it is like 10 times the price. And I want to get good at the platform before I start making higher demands. Which, you know what, with my dancing video, I felt like I was pretty much there at the point, but then I got distracted with my own project, let's say, over on the left hand side. Anyways, and then I guess I started to play around with this even more, and I got this pretty interesting result where I could have the lady pouring hot water into this coffee mug and eventually get it to where it would just stop filling up the coffee there, but it would still seem like I'm pouring coffee into it. And So I was impressed that it got to the point where the coffee wasn't filling up. And so I was happy with that. And how I made this originally was I basically put together some stock photos. Like this is actually just a stock photo. Oh, hold on. Here we go. I don't know if you can see that, but there is a photo of somebody pouring some hot coffee into a coffee mug. And then what I also did was I uploaded this picture of this girl here. Now, I was a little bit unhappy that I couldn't see her face, and she doesn't really do anything inside of it. But for what it was worth, I learned a couple good points in there. And then my dancing lady here. Um, let's see. So here I have my dancing lady, and it turned out pretty nice. Again, I'm just using VO2 to create these, but I mean, I really like her dress. I really like how she's moving. Oh, did she stutter? So I don't know if that's exactly. I don't know if that's part of the video. Okay, it does seem to be part of the video. So I think I would have to export it and then take care of it in a video editor. But for the most part, it seems like it is capturing it quite well. Like she's dancing, the camera's moving, the hallway looks amazing. Everything looks like it's fitting together. Um, Except for that jump there, I mean, everything is looking very good. But let me just pause here. So, this was actually an interesting project just to see some of the problems with Flow. So, I created one scene, and then what I noticed was every time that I created a new scene, two things were happening. Sometimes the details in her dress were starting to go away, so her dress actually just became this flat red dress. So I had to clean that up. And then secondly, um, I also noticed that the colors were shifting a little bit. So it started off with, yeah, you can kind of even see it here. Um, we can see that it has this nice deep red, but then as you go forward, it actually becomes this orange red, and it's not as nice. So this is a strange thing that I noticed within Gemini, and I mean, I want to go back and fix this one. So again, there's three issues going on, or three issues that I've combated or am combating with this one particularly. That her dress was changing, the colors of her dress was changing, and I guess the color of the video in general. And then that blip somewhere where it almost seems like it used one frame my inspiration from my inspiration picture. Anyway, so lots and lots more of things to do there. Um, Now, let's see. I don't know how much more to go into it, but um, let's see. So the options. Let's go over to here. And so when you're creating a generation, you can click on this text to video, and you get these three different options. Text to video, that's essentially a lot like your other text generation AI. You can put in whatever you want, like make me a tower of New York or tower of Texas or something like that, and it'll create what it thinks is best. And of course, you could put kind of random prompts into it. So in my Tower of Texas, also put fireworks and a balloon, something like that, and it will come up to something really close to it. Frames to video, that's where you can. So I'm getting a little bit confused, but you can put like one frame and then another frame, and then the AI here is going to try to blend those two together, go from like A to B. And so that's actually what I was experimenting more with this dancing video is I would have one frame in one section, and then in my next frame, I would have the ending position. And I got some okay results with that. And then ingredients to video. And this is probably your best one to start off with after you get used to playing around. Or actually, after you have fun with Flow for the first time, ingredients to video is really where you start to get the professional aspect to this generator, and that's where you can put in, let's say, if you had a brand watch, then you could throw that in there. If you had an actor that you wanted to put in, you could also put it in there. And then with those ingredients, you'd be able to generate a product for your client or for whatever project you're doing. And then also, here is your what should I call it? Your generator, essentially. So you can choose which model you wanted. Again, I usually go with just the VO2 because it is the lowest cost one, and especially from when you are in a learning state, it's more important to get used to the platform than having the best quality that you can get. And on a similar note, it gives you options about different amounts of outputs each time that you put in a request for some content. And I recommend actually leaving it on two. Two, because then you get two variations upon your request. And usually one is better than the other, and it'll give you something that's usable. I mean, if you do have a large budget, then go ahead and go with four. And one I would use just when I was refining some of my ideas, or if I just had a crazy idea and I just wanted to see how the platform would react, I would go with one. All right, and then let's see. I'm just going to go through my other tabs just to make sure that I didn't forget anything here. No, I think I covered it. And then let's see. So I also asked Gemini just about Flow, and it says, integration with core AI models, VO3, Image Gen 4, Gemini, native audio generation. So this is something that I haven't messed around too much with because I'm just not there at the moment. I like what I'm doing with just VO2. Consistency across scenes, filmmaker tools, camera controls, scene builder, asset management. We did cover on each one of these a little bit, so those have been useful, and I do like what I've seen so far. Flexible generation methods, yeah, we cover that as well. And then AI watermarking. So this one I'm a little bit mixed on because whenever you output one of these videos here, you do get this little watermark down in the bottom right. And I guess it's just not at a level which is consumer ready. And it's probably there also to help protect people as well, I assume. Because this is just so powerful that, you could make videos of political figures, or you could make them of, celebrities or your neighbor. And you want to be sure, for the most part, that that content has some indication that it is AI generated. Yeah, and if I didn't mention it, it is also probably there for marketing as well. Let's see. And then oh, and then what's also interesting is the invisible synth idea to watermark and identify the AI generated content. So I'm just asking Gemini to give a little bit more of an example, because I'm wondering, maybe it produces the watermark by having interesting shapes as it produces the video. Okay, it looks like there might be a no. I'm not sure how it does it, but yeah. So that's I think that's a pretty good review about everything that Google Flow can do in all of its AI generation tools. Again, we're seeing the channels on the screen now, and it can do just very impressive things. But at the same time, once you get used to how the platform works, not not a lot of this looks too unlikely. It seems like something that pretty much anybody can do. All right, let's check out one more channel before we go. Postcards from space. All right, pretty good. That looks easy enough. This also looks easy enough to do, especially after you get a little bit of time. But again, going to what I was saying earlier, again, it is your creativity. This is quite close to just a canvas to whatever you can type, or whatever you can bring in to Gemini, sorry, into Flow, and just whatever you want to see. Okay, let's take a look at one more channel. Unnatural. Yeah, very interesting stuff. You know what? This is kind of reminding me of just just channel surfing. There's so many different possible combinations of ideas. I mean, even as you were looking through this, I imagine you, the viewer, probably came up with two or three ideas of different things that you could do. Okay, pretty wild. All right. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this, and I look forward to creating more flow, more AI generated content, or more content featuring on the AI generation platforms. And then also, I hope to also release some of those videos that I had shown earlier after I give them a little bit more touch up. Anyways, thank you.